We're coming to you live from TK's Corner inside the Danbury Ice Arena, just a couple days away from Danbury Hockey Alumni Night here inside the DIA. Danbury hat tricks in a playoff push, and one of the biggest nights of the season coming up. We've got hat tricks president Herm Sorcher, also one of the big members of the Danbury Whalers, sporting one of the nicest jerseys in professional hockey history. I think Billy McCreary, hat tricks head coach and general manager, might say this one is a bit better, but what's funny is the logos were made by the same guy, and one of the guys who will be inducted into the Ring of Honor here at the Danbury Ice Arena on March 9th, 7 o'clock. It's this Saturday coming up. Herm, what's in store?
I mean, it is by far my favorite night of the year. I love the energy, the whole process, getting the guys here, getting them with their families. And the first guy you touched on, Dom Alessandro, he created the Whaler logo. He created the Outlaw logo, the Titans, the Trashers, and the hat tricks. I mean, my God, what an amazing guy. And I think everybody has like a piece of history that connects to this alumni night. Dom's is, you could argue it's like the first step, because when he did his work and we launched the teams, it's like, hey, this to me, it's like, hey, these guys are real. Like if you're watching a press conference, you're seeing what the noise is about these teams. First thing you say is, okay, these guys are coming at it. Now, look, I will say, I think this is the best hockey jersey in minor league hockey history. I challenge any fan to show me a better one. I don't think it's out there. That is very nice. I will say that.
And it is
we'll give it a close second.
It is interesting, Herm, because initially you were going to go a different direction with the Whalers logo. Then Dom proposed this beauty, and this one stuck.
Very true. I always say to Dom, I was like, it's funny how it happened, but at the press conference, we wanted to be a team of the people. We wanted to be a team for the hockey fans and for the community. So I had a logo that I absolutely loved that was done, and we announced it. We said, hey, here's our logo. And the fans were like, hey, that's awesome. And then I said, and here's the logo that's going to be our alternate patch and our shoulder patch. And, we'll incorporate it in. And the fans were like, oh, my God, that's incredible. And it was this one. It was the color one, the full color. Mm-hmm. The fans were like, it's amazing. And I sat there and I was like, okay, fans. I was like, what do you think? Should we make the switch right now? Should this become our official logo? And they were like, yes. And I was like, okay. And I'm getting chills just talking about it. But Dom was like begging me. He's like, use mine. I was like, no. I was like, I love the one we have. But in the end, the fans spoke, and it's amazing. The work that Dom has done is amazing. And I think when you talk about people who have built this place, it starts with Jim Galante. AJ and Jim always starts with them. But then from there, there's so many people, and I think Dom is in that conversation, and I love having a guy like that in here to be part of it.
Yeah, Dom's name will go up on a banner that is being hung up, I believe, right now. Some mixing and matching, some shifting of banners is going on right off to our right. Another member of this year's class is Phil Bronner, and Billy, you know him very well. Brought him here to Danbury, couple stints with the team, and in the brief interactions I've had with him, he seems like an off-the-charts type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, Phil just really, he embodies everything Danbury hockey is really about. I mean, he's such a tremendous human being. He's such a competitor. He scores goals, he makes plays, he fights, he hits, he does everything. And I don't know if there's ever been a more well-rounded player in Danbury than Phil Bronner. He was the first guy we signed, and he came in with the expectation that we were going to bring a championship to Danbury. So, he was one of the guys that really kind of got us off on the right foot here with the hat tricks, and certainly miss having him around on a daily basis, but it's going to be really exciting having him back in the building Saturday night.
We got a Whaler and a Trasher as well going in, Herm.
Oh
a couple of the bigger names in Danbury pro hockey history.
Yeah. Well,
what can you tell us about that?
Jason McCrimmon, one of my all-time favorite guys. I mean, he was such a popular guy in here in Danbury. And, this is really more about the body work he did after. And Jason had a fantastic pro career, played in Finland, played for the Whalers in our championship, run to the championship finals. We didn't win it that year. This guy holds that over us still. But Jason went on to create the, I think it's the Motor City Gamblers in the Junior Hockey League in the USPHL, and has done great things in the community, specifically in Detroit and Michigan, and just giving kids a chance to get on the ice and helping kids just get their first taste of the game who might not have an opportunity to. And then to cap it all off, Jason was named the Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award winner, which is given to one individual every year. It's a national award given by the National Hockey League. And to think a guy who played here has gone on to be presented with that and capture that award, it just says, man, what a great guy to have in here. And so Jason's going up. He's not going to be here that day, but we're hopeful to get him out here in April when his junior season ends. I love Jason. I think the world of him and all that he's accomplished. Just unbelievable person. Unbelievable dude.
So we mentioned the Outlaws taking down the Whalers. Tough one for you.
Yeah.
Good memory for you. What do you remember about playing against Jason and that whole finals series and winning the championship?
I mean, it was a tremendous experience. It was a different league back then. The first two games of that best of five series, I believe, Herm, is that correct?
It was a best of five, yeah.
Best of five. The first two games were in New Jersey, and I remember them, kind of being, they were wins for the Outlaws, and they were home wins. So I think it was like a 5-1 and a 6-2, maybe something around there. But then you come back to Danbury Ice Arena. And we were a team that was on fire all year, and you come in here, there's 3,500 people in the building, it's shaking, the building's about to fall down, and it's a different atmosphere. It's a harder game to win, and we ultimately were fortunate enough to pull it off in OT. Herm and I were just talking about in the third period there, we thought we scored the game-winning goal and late in the third, and Eric Ernst called off the goal, and he's a tremendous guy and a friend of mine. I think he's actually retiring this year, so it's funny to look back on those moments. But when that overtime goal went in, Matt Puntareri had the assist on that goal. Punts is just an absolute legend in the Federal Hockey League, and I mean, this place was pretty quiet. It's the most quiet I've ever heard this building, but it was a pretty special moment for sure. And that moment ultimately led me to meet Herm, and the rest is history, so to speak.
I want to touch on the rest of the night and what's going to be happening on Saturday.
You don't do more? Let me give you some more games.
Go ahead. It's all on you. Go ahead.
Look, that series was beautiful because that was our first trip to the finals. And now that I really think about it, game one we had a 2-0 lead in New Jersey. We scored in like the first, I think it was 2-0 in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. And then you ended up blowing us out. And game two, I think, was a Sunday afternoon. I think you blew us out pretty good in that one. Game three, I remember we came back here. Place was absolutely, going crazy. It was one of the, loudest times I'd ever been in here. And we had a 2-0 lead in that game. Yep. And I was thinking in my mind, I'm like, we are playing, I guess it was a Friday night probably. So I was like thinking in my mind, hey, we are playing Saturday. This place is going to go even more crazy. We can do this. But ultimately we did lose. But what a series that was. And it was great for the fans, having a final series where the teams are separated probably by like 75, 100 miles. We had a lot of fans going back and forth. It was good. It was a great time. And that series, I remember,
and the building back then too is the best building in the league back then.
Yeah.
So for us as players, like, we didn't want to play in New Jersey. Yeah. We didn't want to play against the Aviators. Like, we wanted to come to Danbury Ice Arena and play in front of those fans and have that kind of lore that we would have to conquer. So
the league is growing. Exactly. When you look at that, the league has grown where the Danbury Ice Arena with all the seats we had and all the energy. This was the premier spot. We still believe it's the premier spot
100%.
For a lot of reasons, but there weren't buildings like that in the league at the time, and it was I think we had a big advantage on a lot of things. But the league is growing for the good of the league. It has grown fantastically. But that that was the second season of the Federal League. We came back, we won it the next year. Then the following year, we lost in 5 to Dayton. But this Danbury franchise, Danbury Whalers, is still the only team to make 3 straight finals.
Wow.
Now we only won one of them, but we did make it 3, and no one has that. So hey, look, maybe we get to the middle point of that this year.
There we go.
Yeah.
Don't want to take a shot at the Buffalo Bills, but good thing you didn't end up like them.
You
What,
know
they have
what?
4 in a row?
They had 4 in a row.
Oh,
They
that's
lost,
tough.
but still,
Yeah.
there's no shame. Look, there's no shame in getting it.
Yep.
You can't hold them.
You got the one win, though.
We did. We did it. I kind of connect it to like the New Jersey Devils in '94 versus the Rangers.
Let's keep talking about that. I
Well,
like
if
that.
if the
I like
if
that.
the Whalers didn't lose to the Outlaws, we wouldn't have been as hungry the next year. So we knew how to finish the job, just like the Devils lost to the Rangers, and then it ended up winning 3 cups.
Yep.
And I think there was some of that. There was a lot of that. Now look, this guy though, when we were on opposing sides, you delivered a hit from behind to Matt Caranci, and then I remember you like ran
Wasn't hard enough.
Yeah, you put a big black eye on him, and then you sticked Kelly Miller at one point.
Which time?
Which time? Probably true. You should have been suspended for that. I don't even know if you got
100%.
suspended for a game.
No.
Different
But
league.
it was a different time. It definitely was a different time. But look, look, to throw this guy some bouquets here, I finally just said to myself when we came back with the hat tricks, look, we got to make a statement, and I don't think there's anyone who was gonna energize and ignite what we were gonna do and bring. And you know what? In year 1, we were probably on our way. We're probably on our way to the finals. It would have been a great series against Elmira, probably in the second round.
Yeah.
And then who knows what would have shaped up if we
Yep.
would have gotten there with Carolina. But it could have been amazing.
Well, I mean, I think if you remember that year, I think we were 7-1 against Carolina that
Yeah.
year, and they were defending champions.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was a very good team that we were built. Unfortunately, COVID shut it down on
Yeah.
us, but marching on.
Now look, but you did lose opening night. I'm not saying this is equal to the championship, but that opening night win. So opening night, these guys were launching the Outlaws, and we were losing, I think 3-1, 4-1, something like that. And we came back, and I always say this to anyone who comes in this building, that corner over there, that's the Danbury corner.
Yep.
There's going to be a puck that's going to take a bounce or a kick or something out of that corner, and somehow it got hit, or I think we hit Dan McWinney, your goalie.
Yeah, Quinny came out and
I
got
think
hit.
Caranci was there to put it home, and we won that game 5-4, and it was a great. I think
Chris Furiola was chasing the refs into the room.
Chris went
and
nuts,
absolutely screaming
It
and
was-
yelling.
Yeah,
He had his heart set on that night. I think if he could have traded a championship for one victory, it would have been that night for sure.
He might have. And look, Chris was a huge part of getting the Danbury Whalers here and getting the Outlaws here, and huge credit to him for all the work he did. And that's what what Alumni Night is about, like recognizing these guys and what they've done.
Yeah, we were talking about how loud Game 3 was between the Whalers and Outlaws. Everything started here in Danbury with the Trashers, and the final member that we haven't mentioned quite yet
Yes.
might be the biggest star coming back. Paparazzi might be out. The fans might really want to see Winger as he comes back this weekend.
I can only speak to him in like a Paul Bunyan type of status. I've only spoken to him on the phone. I never saw him play here. I can only speak on what the fans have told me. Great guy, great human being, ultimate teammate, the ultimate warrior. And you watch the videos, you watch the Netflix special, and you're like, this is a guy that has to be a part of it. And, to think about all the guys who've been popular here, the Johnny Ruiz, Amesbury, Corey Fulton, Julian Frazier, whoever else, fits that bill. Zach Pemelayan for sure. Brad Wingfield might be the number one. And this is 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that. Like, think about fast forward the calendar 20 years in 2048.
Yep.
Is someone going to be talking about, all due respect to these guys, is someone going to be talking about Zach Pemelayan, Corey Fulton, Julian Frazier, Johnny Ruiz? I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
But they are still talking about Brad Wingfield Like he played here last week, and that's a serious amount of power and prestige for him.
Well, that's one of the it's one of the things that I love most about Danbury is the passion that flows through this building.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, obviously all the players that have to put the jersey on, they have to play with that passion, but the fans come into the building with the same passion. You know, Herm, when I met you, obviously you have that same passion, and that starts at the top and filters on down. And, you know, the passion here is it's electric. Right. And I think that's going to be one of the things come Saturday night with all these people back in the building. The fans here, the passion that goes into this, you know, the passion that the fans have to see Winger come back here after 20 years and having the career that he had. I mean, it's going to be special. It's truly going to be special.
Yeah, you talked about the guys coming back in here, and I tell you, one of the great moments with the alumni night is, you know, when we call these guys, and you told me you had a call from one of the guys. I had a call with Jason Michelson, and he was just like, Jason Michelson was a member of the Danbury Mad Hatters, and he was just like blown away. Like, he's coming here. Hey, there's an alumni game. Oh, do I buy tickets? I'm like, Jason, no, you're here.
This is your night.
This is your night, man. And it's like the fans want to see you. You're part of the history here. But tell me about your call that you had.
Yeah, Scott Isbell was a celebrity contract player here this year, and he got I think it was an email from you inviting him to the alumni night this Saturday, and you know, he was almost in tears. He was just so taken back that he was included with the you know, the amount of names that go through this building. So, you know, whether you put the jersey on for one game, one season, 2 seasons, 5 seasons, you know, Bronner wore it for the Titans. He wore it for the hat tricks. You know, it's just going to be such a special night. And, you know, these guys, they love being a part of it, and they appreciate what you do, Herm. So
hey, team effort, man, all the way. You know, credit to everybody really for being a part. And like, look, the jerseys we're going to wear that night are the Danbury Titans jerseys, also, you know, designed by Dom Alessandro. And they're, you know, I think we found the way to do it is, you know, blend that logo into what we're doing. So it's a black and orange Danbury Titans jersey, which looks beautiful. And Bruce Bennett will be here. And, you know, Bruce deserves a ton of credit too. I mean, you know, he's part of, you know, one of the ownership groups of the time in Danbury. And, you know, he had 2 years that he kept hockey going. And, you know, I think, you know, look, these are nice to celebrate everybody here. And I'm looking forward to the, you know, the applause that Bruce gets, because I think he deserves it. He did a great thing with the Titans, and a lot of good things. Everyone contributes to the hockey history here, so it should be fun.
Yeah, what can fans expect on Saturday? What's the procedure? How's it going to go? And what should we be looking out for?
So, I mean, the gates open at, let's say the gates open at 6:00. Our plan always is to play an alumni game. That's real. We're going to leave it on Billy. I don't know that it's going to happen, and the reason it hasn't always happened is the guys are having a great time.
Yeah,
they're just having a great time with each other, with the fans, and it kind of, it's like, hey, to say, hey, we're going to go play. You got to put on your skates. You got to go do this. It happens. If it happens, if it doesn't happen, it's fine. But let's say the guys are here, they're going to be socializing, they're going to be connecting with the fans, and they'll be in the suite, they'll be walking around. Some past guys in there looking Steve Brown will be here.
Steve Brown might be in the lineup.
Right. Alan Friedman, Eddie Campbell, Jim Galante, AJ will be here. I'm not sure about Dave McIsaac, Nick Nieder, no, Matt Crancy, no, they're both playing. But, you know, then at the end of the first period, we bring them out, or actually, let me go back. While we're playing the action in the first period, there will be a video tribute to each guy. We'll probably do Jason's last because he's not here, but the 3 guys who are here, we've got their videos, and they look awesome, right?
They're fantastic,
unbelievable. So we'll play their videos. We'll camera up on them in the suite, and then at the end of the first period, we'll bring everybody out onto the ice. So the owners, the front office, the players, the stick boy, the whoever. And I got to tell you, the guy who I I probably know the guest list better than you. I think you do know this guy is coming, but I think there's going to be a guy who's not in the Ring of Honor, who only played 6 games in a Danbury uniform as a member of the Danbury team, and I think he might get the loudest cheers of them all. Who do you think that is?
You know my trivia.
I've got it. I have a guess for you.
What do you got?
Well, he's one of your teammates. I'll say that.
One of my teammates?
One of your teammates.
Matt Punterari?
Who's your guess? That might be right. Who's your guess?
Well, I thought Mike Rupp. That was my
Ooh.
guess.
Is he coming?
Good
I don't
guess.
know. You have the guest list, not me.
I don't know.
He's supposed to be the most connected guy. And
I don't know that Mike Rupp is coming. Maybe
Mike Rupp, if you're seeing this, Saturday.
If you're out there, look, I know both AJ and I were at Game 7, Ducks versus the Devils.
Wow.
Not together, but we were both there when Mike Rupp scored the game-winning goal for the Devils. Anyway, I don't know that Mike Rupp is coming, but yeah, Matt Punterari will be here. And I got to tell you, one of the guys, to show you the history of Danbury and what it really means, a guy on our team said, hey, do you have God Bless America ready for Saturday night? And I'm like, well, we really haven't played it much this year. And I was like, Susan Lang, who we hope shows up. Susan, if you're listening, please.
You're on deck.
Please come, Susan. Please be here. Please sing with me, as you would always say every game. Please sing with me. I hope you're here to deliver that rendition because. So I said to Dustin, I don't think she's coming here, and he says, no, you got to do it because of Punts, because Punts will be here when the fans used to sing, Through the Prairies, and they would say Punterari.
Punterari.
We have to play God Bless America on Saturday night just for the fans to relive that moment. And he would always orchestra, conduct. Yeah. Punch is an unbelievable dude, part of our championship team. And I can't wait to see him. Great
What
dude.
a character.
He is.
One of the best.
Would you put him on your Hall of Fame starting lineup of teammates? Or
I mean, if there's a guy that could ever make sure you were enjoying work when you're going through the dog days, it was Punts. I mean, from his yellow Crocs to his beard, he was just he's a character.
Yeah.
He's a character. One of my favorites.
Love Punch. So when we were talking about this interview, we said, okay, what's your favorite moment in this building? Non-championship moment. So maybe it could be from the game, but it can't be, hey, we won, we paraded around with the cup. What would yours be?
Whew, that's a tough question. There's been a lot of really good moments in this building. Man, I mean, if you erase the championships, opening night, I think year 1 was a pretty special night for me. Just kind of going through the process as a player and then transitioning into coaching and, being able to recruit the type of team that we had. It was just, I thought that was a really special night.
Yeah. How about you? First,
I've
first
only
year
been
in the
here
cabin
for
here.
what, 2/3 of a season,
Yeah.
but I'd say on the ice, favorite memory to call so far.
Or it could be off the ice too.
Yeah, but I'd give it to Jacob Ratcliffe's OT winner against the Prowlers. Nice one-timer from the left circle. One of my favorite calls of the year, and he really likes playing against the Prowlers, I think, Ratcliffe this year.
Yeah.
He's done it to him a couple of times. But I'm hoping to build some more memories as we get closer to the playoffs, and we got some big games coming up. A couple more home games. Get a trip to Virginia, which should be fun. First-year team down in Wytheville. So those are a couple of my favorite memories. And then, of course, working with you in the office. I mean,
we've
had some great times over the summer, getting ready for the season.
Well, what do we always say? We get to do this every day. We get to do it.
Yep.
We get to serve the people of this community professional hockey. I mean, nothing is better than that. It's unbelievable. It's a privilege to walk in here.
So what's your favorite moment?
I got a couple. It's so hard to eliminate others, but I always try to go with, okay, what came to my mind? And I will tell you, the Frankie McClendon ceremony this year,
that was
to
tough.
look down at him,
that was a tearjerker.
Yeah, to look down at him when he was like just skating like this, and then we say, hey, number 35, look up at the screen, and to see him kind of like stand back and be like, oh my God, you're like, wow, like this is who Frankie was.
Mm-hmm.
We really gave him something good that he deserved. And the fans loved it. Like the fans cheered like crazy, man.
Yeah.
That was something we just drew up. That's a top one. The my favorite goal. I mean, look, it's hard to. I'm going to follow my rule. I'm going to say the Marchison goal. I can't say because it's too easy. But game 1, or I'm sorry, game 3 versus Dayton, 2013. We won the championship that night. The place was buzzing. It was electric. There was so much noise, and Phil Coyne cranked one off the crossbar, and it made such like the metal sounding, sound, and then it went in, and that, I was like, we're gonna win this thing. I was like, we are actually gonna win this, and I'm like, oh my god, I couldn't believe it. Now when I go back and watch it on tape, it's not as loud as I remember it, but it was still a great moment. That's a good one, and Jason McCrimmon, my moment with him was. There was we were playing Brooklyn, and him and Joe Pell, who became a Danbury hat trick at one point. Him and Joe Pell, just like, sharks in the water, just lined each other up, like probably blue line to blue line, and started coming closer to center ice. And it was just like, hands up, we're going to go. And you got one guy who's 6'4", and the other guy who's maybe a generous 5'9".
Yeah.
And they put on a show, and it was like, man, that was crazy. The fights are great here.
What about Levesque's fight in the corner over there?
Oh my God, the old pumping
up.
Great moment. The Phil Bronner cried, tears of Mafuz.
Yeah.
So many great moments. I mean, so many great moments that we've been part of. Here's another one. Jim Galante coming in here, part of Alumni Night, the first night. Him and AJ getting that applause. I mean, it's unreal. Like to see them get that.
Yep.
Because I don't like they always kind of say like, hey, we never really got a chance to say goodbye to our fans, and it's that time for them, I think, to really hear it, and I love it when they're in the building.
Yep.
Just gives it a great history. I could go on all day on my favorite moments. There've been, okay, one more. Because this one, I think, stamped us forever. Game 3, Danbury versus Brooklyn, first year. So it was 2011. We're playing against punts, and we were losing 2-1. And they call a penalty shot with 16 seconds left because they knocked the goal off. Ironically, a lot of knocking the goal off this weekend.
Too bad we didn't have that ref this weekend.
Yeah.
And Alec Kirshner takes a penalty shot, and we score. And that might have been the single loudest time I ever heard this place. It was nuts. It was absolutely crazy. It was there was some great footage of that, and that moment to me, that was like that water cooler moment. Even though we lost that series, we lost the next night on Sunday. We lost the next night on Saturday, the next day on Sunday in Brooklyn, and we're eliminated in the first round. But I felt like everybody was talking about the Danbury Whalers that Monday at work or at school or wherever. And we sold a ton of tickets. We sold a ton of season tickets the next year. And I think Alec Kirshner's goal really was a huge part of that. That one single goal.
He was a heck of a player.
One of my favorites.
Yeah,
one of my all-time favorites. I loved him.
Lots of great memories in Danbury professional hockey. Any final thoughts from you guys before we wrap it up?
I just think it's a night for the fans. It's a night for the guys going up on the wall. It's a night for the alumni, the staff, the people who've been involved with this team, whether they walked in the office or the locker room or stepped on the ice for whatever. They're part of the history. And to have a guy like Billy here after, your history in here as an opposing player, it's amazing. You're the best coach in the league. You don't get enough credit for that. What you have worked with this team to honor the past and to bring it forward to the new stuff. That's what it's about, and I love what you're doing. And I know when the alumni players are in here, and the Galantes and Bruce Bennett and whoever walk in here on Saturday night, you're gonna give them the greatest. You're gonna give them the greatest feeling, and I know it. I know you will, and that's awesome. So,
well, listen, I mean, these guys all paved the road
Yeah.
for us to be here and to do what we love to do every day, right? So, we got to meet the standards. It's going to be a fun night Saturday night. It'll be some fast physical hockey.
Yep. What a night it's shaping up to be. The list of guests is growing day by day. It should be a pretty exclusive list, too, of some of the top alumni in Danbury professional hockey history. And you can be a part of it. Just buy your tickets at danburyhattricks.com. We'd love to see you. We'd love to get standing room only, maybe a sellout. I know you don't believe in sellouts, but standing room only for that type of a night to honor some of the alumni that are coming back.
Oh, there's always a ticket. We're always going to find a way to get you into this building. We're always going to find a way. And for any alumni who have not yet registered, send me a note. Send me register online with us at the danburyhattricks.com, just so we can send you a ticket and have a proper introduction for you. Not too late. Even if you show up on Saturday at 6:55, you're part of it, and we want you here.
And if you have any other questions, you can just email Herm at danburyhattricks.com. Get yourself registered, and it should be a lot of fun.
Make sure you get those tickets. Got Corey Anderson in the building this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Corey Anderson. Gordy Bonnell is back. Tony Pizzano. Michelson. Maybe Carlo Ricci. Probably Phil Esposito always makes a trip in here for this. Guy Gugalami on the equipment staff. Bruce Bennett. Tricia Coe, big part of the front office for years. A lot of people will be here.
It's gonna be a great night.
Yeah, and to add to it, the number one team of the Empire Division is coming to town. It's the Binghamton Black Bears. 7:00 puck drop. If you can't be here, then you can still catch it on our YouTube. We'll have it on the Hattricks Digital Network. I'll have the call. We'll have the pregame for you. We'll have the first period. Then I'll take the headset off, run downstairs, and run the intermission ceremony with Herm. Should be a lot of fun, but we'll have it all with the microphone. You can hear everything that's going on and watch it from home if you cannot be in the building. You have something to add? I thought
I was thinking about something, but it's all right.
Herm's got a lot of stuff going on up here.
I just think about like Yankees Old Timers Day. Look, I'm a Mets fan. I'm very open about that. But Yankees Old Timer Day was always a fantastic thing. And Joe DiMaggio was always the last New York Yankee announced. Even when Mickey Mantle, Whitey Ford, Yogi Berra, it was always Joe DiMaggio. Well, I mean, I've been joking with Jim Galante. I said, Jim, it doesn't matter who we're inducting in the Hall of Fame. You're the Joe DiMaggio of hockey here. You're always the last guy announced. So we're going to, the process will be we'll announce everybody. We'll announce the members, and then AJ and Jimmy will be the last two. And I mean, and rightfully so. They deserve it. No one is standing here without those guys. And they had a vision. They had a vision to turn this recreational rink in the center of a city into, a destination, man, an absolute must-see Taj Mahal of a building in minor league hockey. That's the truth. It's a must-see building. If you're a hockey fan, if you're a minor league hockey fan, it's a must-see building.
Alumni, old and new, will be inside this building on Saturday. We drop the puck at 7:00. Festivities throughout the night. Grab your tickets. If you can't, watch online. We're really looking forward to it, and we'll see you guys on Saturday.